There's no such thing as a perfect family. In fact, you may even feel like your family is a dinosaur at times, with all the fighting and yelling and screaming and conflict and all that kind of stuff. But we're here to help. Our team at Akua Family Therapy specializes in family therapy, parenting support. We even work with children and adolescents who are struggling. And you know, sometimes those dinosaur-ish type behaviors, sometimes it's just anxiety, or maybe it's stress at school, or we never know really what's the underlying issue, but we know that we can support you and your family. We want you to know that you're not alone. Our therapists take time to build rapport with you and your children, your family, and we take time to assess your behavior and some of the symptoms and experiences that you're having. And over a few weeks that we'll give you psychoeducation on different ways that we can assist you with communication or interaction. We're not here to say that you're doing anything wrong. We're here to support you in making things better. At first, therapy might feel like a scary experience, but before you know it, when you're working with one of our therapists, it can be an experience where you feel like, wow, I'm starting to get to know my therapist and they really get me. Before you know it, you're gonna be just kind of like warming up to therapy, just like this, feeling comfortable, feeling relieved, feeling like life isn't so bad after all. Sometimes life can be a little weird where you're walking down the trail and you don't know where you're going because there's a curve up ahead and you can't see around it. Sometimes families experience hardness of heart. The Bible calls it hardness of heart. But sometimes we get real hardened and we're not able to really connect with each other very well. And that's another reason why you could come to therapy. What happens is you process what's going on the inside in a safe space, and it helps you to be less harder with your family members to where you can start connecting again. Sometimes hardening is protective. Maybe you've experienced some trauma, maybe you've experienced some difficulty, and you've developed a little bit of hardness on the outside, which is sometimes okay, but sometimes it can be maladaptive, meaning it gets in the way of your functioning or it gets in the way of connecting. We all experience anger sometimes, and it's okay. Anger is a human emotion, but what it does is it tells us we have a need that is not being met. And if you don't know what my need is, then I need to express what my need is to you so that you can understand me. Now, in anger management, what we do is we learn what our triggers are, we learn about how to express our emotions in healthy and functional ways. We learn how to express what we need. We learn how to make requests so that the other people in our life won't get scared when we're angry. So the next time you feel angry, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and think about, what am I needing right now? What is the need that's not being met? And think about, how are you going to express your need in a way where your family can understand you and you don't bottle it up and rah, okay? So take a deep breath, think about what your need is, and think about how you can express your need with a request. A request might look like, would you be willing to slow down? Would you be willing to help me? That's how we request to meet our needs. That way we don't have to explode and rah like a dinosaur. I wonder why my family members are so angry. I don't know about you, but I hate it when my family members are always looking over my shoulder. I feel irritated, maybe even angry sometimes, because I have a need for privacy. So what I need to do is I need to look over to my family member, my partner, my kids. I need to look at them and say, would you be willing to give me a few minutes by myself? Because I have a need for privacy. His need might be for safety. He may be looking over my shoulder because he needs to feel safe. And when he's always over my shoulder and all up in my business, it helps him to feel safer. So I might be able to meet his need by giving him a hug or spending time with him or something like that. But his needs can be met and my needs can be met. We have to figure it out. So sometimes in family therapy, we do that. We get to know our clients. We try to figure them out and understand what their needs are, help them to regulate their emotions by taking deep breaths, by calming their nervous system, and knowing how to process what's going on the inside. Sometimes it's not so simple, but sometimes if we spend some time processing, we can get to know ourselves a little bit better. We can better understand what we feel and what we need. And even when there's people looking over our shoulder or irritating us or making us feel angry, when we get to know ourselves and our partner or our family, things can become a lot less conflicted and a lot more connecting, loving, encouraging, and positive. So my brother over here who's rubbernecking, I can help them to feel safe. It's okay, I'm gonna be here, but I may need a few minutes by myself before we play games, before we watch a movie, and that kind of thing. We work with a lot of couples, married couples, premarital couples, cohabiting couples, and what we've come across is every couple has different kinds of patterns. And some of the challenging or problematic patterns are what we call pursuer, distancer. And what happens is a pursuer type is going to be someone who is probably talking a lot and complaining and bickering. And what happens is there's, again, these needs that they have that aren't getting met by their partner. And what happens with the distancing partner, sometimes they're complaining back, but most times they're withdrawing because they don't want conflict. They don't like conflict. And so they kind of move away. But the more they move away, the more the pursuer comes in, which leads to conflicts. It leads to disconnection. So what we do is we try to help our couples first de-escalate, meaning calm their nervous system, take deep breaths, better understand yourself, better understand each other. Then once we're able to kind of calm down, buddy, calm down. Okay, once we're able to calm down, then we're able to try to better understand each other. Okay? And if we can stay calm and we can listen and hear each other, then we can start connecting. And that is the goal of couples therapy. Oftentimes our couples, our clients come to us saying, help us with communication. I personally don't think communication is the problem. Most times it's emotional regulation. Can we calm ourselves down long enough to hear what each other's needs are? Okay? Once we can do that, we can better understand each other. And that is the value of having a neutral therapist to work with you, to help you understand yourself and your partner, and getting back on track to marital satisfaction or relational satisfaction. These dinosaurs here are herbivores. That means they're a lot calmer. They're just strolling through, eating trees and grass and things like that. Well, that's what happens when we calm our nervous system. We can slowly relax. And in therapy, sometimes we learn to do what's called self-care. Manage our emotions so that we can get back to relaxing and calmly going about our life, even if you're in a relationship. See, you don't have to end your relationship to achieve calmness or calmness and clarity. You just need to learn how to manage yourself and communicate and express yourself so that you know your needs, they know your needs, and we can live in coexistence. existence together. These are baby triceratops, and unfortunately at Akua Family Therapy, we do not work with babies. In fact, we do not work with children younger than 10 years old. But if you're a parent of these younger children, we do have parenting support services. So if you're looking for parenting support, give us a call. What we do provide is therapy for adolescents, which would be over here in the adolescent dinosaur section. We do work with teenagers and maybe even preteens, kind of like this Albertosaurus here. Some teenagers are very curious. They're wanting to meet other people. They're wanting to get into dating and things like that. But sometimes those curiosities can turn into stressors. And what we do is we help our teenagers to kind of process and adjust and sort of get to know themselves in a way to where they can build self-esteem, build social skills, and grow into healthy and mature young adults. Now, sometimes we have clients who are at a crossing. They're at a crossroads. They don't know which way they want to go. Do they want to separate? Some of our clients are already at that place where they're either divorced or working through a divorce. Now, it's not our job to persuade or recommend them to stay together or to separate. At Akua Family Therapy, we stay neutral. But we do support our clients when they are in that place where they're separating, divorced. We have services such as co-parenting therapy. And when we are doing co-parenting therapy, usually kind of like these T-Rexes on both sides, mom and dad, they're all kind of like really with each other, right? And so what we help them to do is practice parenting or co-parenting that is child-centered, right? We help them to get away from the conflict and the backbiting, and really we stay out of the whole litigation type of mindset. And we help our clients to get into a healthy, workable, functional co-parenting relationship. We're not trying to help you get back together. In fact, in order for co-parenting therapy to actually work, or co-parenting to actually work, we recommend that you agree that we're not working on your romantic relationship. We're working on your co-parenting and ability to communicate, cooperate for the sake of your children. That's what we do at Akua Family Therapy for co-parenting clients. We understand that life can get heavy sometimes, just like this huge dinosaur, probably weighs 5 tons. Well, if you've made it to the end of this video, we want to take this time to appreciate that you've hung in there and listened to some of the services and explanations that we've provided you. If you'd like to learn more, you can go to our website at www.akuafamilytherapy.net and learn more about us, our team, and the services that we provide.